You're probably right. I don't live in Indiana. I just picked this team because I love to suffer. But all that suffering has paid off because now I get to be on WNBA with Shay talking about the team.
Yeah, it'll be great. I think they're going to have a better year than they have in other years. But let's get into it. Okay, so the Fever last year, 13-21. Not great, not terrible, not as bad as the year before, where they got 8 wins or something like that. What was it?
I think that's right. I think it was 8.
Yeah. They had the 7th. I have points per game here. What am I doing? They didn't have great offensive and defensive ratings last year. I think they were 12th and 7th. So 12th in offensive rating and 7th in defensive rating. So they weren't scoring very efficiently and they weren't making stops very efficiently. Yeah, they struggled. What do you think their biggest problem last year was? Was it like 3-point shooting? Was it, I don't know, just putting the ball in the basket, defense? What was it?
I did not like the way that they ran their offense a lot of the times. Like there were games where I looked down at the box score and Benijah Laney has more shots than Kelsey Mitchell. So part of it was I think that she could have been used better. And also they did play a lot of close games. There were a lot of games, they were leading the league in games where I thought, could have had that one if things would have just gone a little different. So I think the record could have, I don't know, if things swing a little differently, their record's a little better. But I don't know, it's kind of both sides of the floor. The defense wasn't great, and the offense was also not great. So that means that there's plenty of opportunities for improvement. So
a lot of room to grow here. I think I agree. Tiara McCowan just did not touch the ball enough. I know it takes a while to get used to the league and things like that, but Kelsey Mitchell had a usage rating of 27%, which is good. Well, it's fine, but Tiara McCowan needs to be shifting more to Tiara McCowan for sure.
Yeah, and I definitely thought she could have started sooner. I mean, it's hard for me to really criticize the way that Pokey brought her along because I do think that she was playing pretty well at the end of the season. So maybe if they had played her more sooner, maybe that development doesn't happen. Because I do think at the end result of her was better than I thought it would be for over the season. But I thought she could have started sooner. Who am I to question Pokey? Just a random person. But yeah. I think maybe that would have helped. But also I think their numbers with Achanwa were better. But yeah. I don't know. Just play Tiara. Just do it.
I am so excited for Tiara McCowan. I remember one of my first episodes that I did on my podcast where I was doing this solo thing. I just was this girl is so good. She is just going to ruin this league. I mean, as she grows, she's so hard to deal with. She's 6'7", I don't know how much she weighs, but she is a tank in there and no one can stop her. I'm really excited for her on the offensive and defensive end. So I'm excited that they didn't do well on either side of the ball last year. And I think McCowan just needs a little bit more there, just a little bit more, So it's just a little more experience. So I'm excited that is going to happen for them this year.
I definitely loved her versus Liz in particular.
Oh, yeah?
Because Liz was definitely not used to going up against someone like that, and she get pretty frustrated, and it was entertaining for me personally, even though I love Liz. I still want her to lose when she plays my team. So
let's talk about who we think the roster is going to be. So we got 15 people on the roster. 3 of them are draftees. Yeah, get your notes out. 3 of them are draftees. Cox at 3, Doyle at 14, and Camilla Smalls at 28. We got a bunch of returners, and then 2 newcomers, Alamond and Jessica January, who, according to WNBA, was born in 1969, which
she's an inspiration. We thought Nancy Lieberman playing was cool. This is even better.
No, this is great. How many? Oh my God, how old is that? That's 50? No. Yeah.
51?
No, or is it 60?
Wait, I
She's
think
an
it's
engineer,
51
guys.
because I'm off the clock though, so I don't get paid to do math right
There
now.
you go. There you go. Well, anyways, she's pretty old, and but no, she's actually born in 1995. Jessica January, third round pick by Connecticut in 2017. She has no basketball reference page, so
It's a
to
deep
me,
cut.
yeah, I think there's 14 people on this roster right now. I think Jessica January is off there. Haven't seen her play though, so it could surprise me. But yeah,
I think the quote they put out for January signing was, "This is a guard who can compete for a spot." Whereas for some of the other players they signed, they had more optimistic things to say. I realize every time you're signing a player, you're going to say something nice that you think that they could bring, but they were definitely more tentative in what they said when they signed January. So definitely seems like more of a long shot there, but who knows? People can surprise you.
we could be wrong. And so basically that leaves two spots for. I think the other people who might not make the team would be your beloved Alamond, Doyle, Camilla Smalls, and Mavunga. Those are the
Yeah.
four people I'm looking at to be going for those spots. Do
For,
you agree with that?
well, I obviously, I'm going to say I think Alaman is on the team.
Yep.
Uh,
Okay.
I think that they're really high on her with what they said. Um,
Yeah.
should I read the quote? I'm going to read the quote. Quote from
Read the quote.
Tamika on Julie's signing is, "Julie has continued to develop her point guard skills with the Belgian national team. Her overseas endeavors will make her an instrumental player for our team." So, I mean, the fact that they signed her to a multi-year deal, she was drafted by the team in 2016, so they've been looking at her for a while.
Yeah.
And I think that if you call someone instrumental, again, I realize that they're going to say something positive about this player they just signed, but you don't have to say the word instrumental if you don't think that she's going to make the team. And I think she has a lot of potential to grow. She's only 23, so I think that I would rather take a shot on her than some of the other players. I mean, I hope that like Kathleen Doyle makes the team. I would love for her to make the team, or just one of these players. I have questions about Mavunga. Like, I have
Yeah.
no problem if they leave her on the team because they feel like they need more center depth, or they just want more depth at that position. But I think she's been on the team for a while. She's pretty much only played, or at least last season, she only played when there were injuries. So I don't think that that's, I think you know who she is, and I would like to give the spot to someone and give someone else a shot. But if they want another center,
Yeah.
then that's also fine too. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, no, I think that's my issue too with all of this. Of just like, these other three, Alamon, Doyle, and Camilla Smalls are all guards. And you already have, Kelsey Mitchell, Wheeler, Tiff Mitchell, Vivian for all these like guard spots. So it's gonna be hard. But I watched some of Camilla Smalls' stuff. So Camilla Smalls where'd she go to school? She went to James Madison. And she was picked at 28th, and I just don't think she's going to make the team.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
Even
Did
though
you look at some of her
she's
film?
from Philly, I did a little bit, but
Yeah.
I came off with the impression that she wasn't going to make it.
Right. Yeah.
Even though she's from Philly, and I'm also from the greater Philadelphia area, so
Yeah.
I would love for her to make it because there's that connection. Also,
You're
Marion
such a good
Stanley from the
fan.
great, you know. But I
Yeah.
don't think that she does. And then, once they're drafted, I start following them on Instagram, and then I see who they are as a person, and I'm like, "Oh, you're cool and you're so excited." And I
Yeah.
don't want you to be crushed, but I don't think you're going to make it. So,
Yeah. I mean,
the hard world out there.
I saw Paris Key last year, and I saw her on the bench one time, and I was like, she's got like the undercut and like the blonde hair, but
She's
she's
so
like,
cool.
right, she's so cool. I was like, I saw her on the bench, and I was like, who the heck is that? Because she looks awesome. And then I like watched her play, and I was like, she's a good player, really smooth, but like not good enough for W. So I mean,
She had a shot at least. And she
right,
does play overseas, so it's like you're making a living playing basketball, so that's great.
right.
But there's only so many roster spots, and there are plenty. There's, more talent than they have space for.
Yeah.
Tough.
So anyhow, so these last two spots, I really like Doyle. This was the person I was fangirling over a little bit. I was like, she is so good. Like, I love these little point guards. They're so fun. They're so quick. I really liked what I saw. Just with how much of a spark plug she was for Iowa. So she's only 5'9". That's kind of where I start to not like it. I mean, it's really, she's a 14th pick, so I think she could make it. But yeah, I think she would, but I think it's going to be hard because she's so small. She didn't shoot that well from three. She was like, 30% her junior year, 32%, 32.7% this year as a senior, with about 100 attempts. So, I mean, that's fine in the W if you made that, but like, it's
You're
college.
probably not going to make that in the top.
Yeah.
I mean, she could improve.
Right.
Yeah, I liked her as well, just her energy. You could see her running around everywhere. And
So
they
fun.
mentioned they really like her passing. And it seems like they're trying, all the players that they picked, I don't know about all the players, many of the players that they have picked
Nice.
have passing as a strength, like Lauren Cox and
Right.
Kathleen Doyle. So
Yeah.
I hope she makes the team. I don't know if she will. She's definitely not a lock. I also feel like people said that she was a bit of a stretch pick for them. Most people wouldn't have had her gone at 14. And it seems like they just really liked her personality and her energy, which, I mean, I also like people who have great personalities and bring a lot of energy, so that's fine with me.
There you go. I mean, yeah, she was really an aggressive player in college. Iowa had I need to watch more of Iowa's basketball, but like they had such a fun like offense. They were just like moving all the time, and I was like, and it was really fun to watch them. But yeah, I mean, she was getting to the free throw line. She had a 27% free throw rate. She's getting there. She's willing to go in and be aggressive. So that's a really good sign for going into the W. She was aggressive, yes, but it also turned into a lot of turnovers, maybe just going too fast. But you did say she was a good passer, so turnovers will come with good passing. And 2.2 fouls per game. These are from her hoop stats, by the way. Shout out. But yeah, so I'm concerned. I mean, I don't think she's gonna. If she makes it, she's gonna be low. She'll be deep in the bench.
Yeah. I don't know how much. She'll probably be like the Paris Key of the new season. That person that plays in court.
I want her to be higher than that, but yeah, she's really.
Well,
small.
I mean, at a minimum. Yeah, I'd be interested. Well, just because their backcourt is going to be a lot more packed. You have three players returning from last year that all saw 25 minutes. Because last year they only, unless it was garbage time, they only had Tiffany and Kelsey and Erica rotating those two positions. So one of them, if you're going to play new players, one of them has to get fewer minutes. I think I know which one I think should have fewer minutes. Because to me, I think that Kelsey and Erica are clearly better than Tiffany.
Yeah.
So I would, drop Tiffany's minutes to give someone else some minutes.
I agree.
The 25 minutes it's plenty of minutes, but you could play, if you wanted to play Kelsey 30 minutes, you could.
Yeah.
So.
Right. I think I do want Kelsey to have the ball a little bit less, just because I want McCowan to have the ball. Like, that needs to happen to me. But also, if we both are going for these two, Alamand and Doyle, that we both really like, we're us as GMs.
And Mavunga has to. Then you don't have Mavunga, and then it's like you have so many guards. So when are these guards actually getting minutes?
Right. It's gonna be like a New York problem. So I'm leaning towards Mavunga. Jeez.
I feel like you have to go Mavunga, but no, you don't. You can do whatever you want. It's a brand new world.
If we're the GMs right now, we're gonna pick Alamand and Doyle for these last two positions, right? So
yes, because so if my center goes down, Tiara is a center, obviously. Natalie Tron will play center. You could play Lauren Cox at center. So
yeah, that's
and
I'm concerned
then I guess
about that, but yes.
I mean, this is like in an injury situation. It's not your plan, but you could. It's not like who am I going to throw out at center now that.
Right.
no one's getting injured because I've declared that it's not allowed, but
Yeah.
just in case.
Right.
And then if you lose a small forward, Natalie Achanwa can also, a power forward. If you lose a power forward, Natalie can play power forward as well. So the fact that these players can play multiple positions means that you can have 17 guards on your team.
Right. So let's.
This is why I'm not the GM again.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I would also have.
Don't listen to me.
Right, but we can do it right now on my show. So let's do it. So let's make a little starting. So Pokey is talking about a little core here, right? So she's talking about a core. What is the core? Like what?
I have the same question.
Okay, cool. You go first. Who do you think she means by the core?
I would say, are we saying 3 players as a core? That's kind of in my brain. I don't know. I would say Tierra. Tierra, obviously. Kelsey and Victoria Vivians, I would guess. I don't know. I had the same question. That's why I picked.
Right. That's why you wrote the question.
Should we read the quote? Where do I have the quote? I have so many tabs. I didn't write this one in my notebook.
Okay. Tamika said they have a great core group.
So it comes back to the genesis of this question was an interview that Tamika did right before the draft. And she said that a lot of teams had contacted her about trading the 3rd pick and they considered it. But she said at the end of the day, whatever player, this is paraphrased because I don't have it in front of me, but whatever player or players they bring in would have to fit with their core group. And she said they had a great core group. And that stood out to me because I, 1, don't know who their core group is supposed to be. And 2, I don't know, except besides Tierra, I don't know if I believe, is this the core group that's going to bring a championship to you? Because I assume that's the goal, is that the young players you have now, certainly your championship window is going to be whenever Tierra becomes the player that we all hope she can become.
Right.
And I believe she can become because I am a I'm a homer. So
yeah.
I guess the question is, if it's Kelsey and Victoria Vivians, are they going to be, good enough to win a championship? If you look at the teams that have won it the past 2 years, they had the MVP on their team. Last year, Elena Delle Donne's the MVP of the regular season. They win. You had Brianna Stewart the previous year. Can Tierra be an MVP of the league? Maybe. But you still need a good supporting cast beyond that. Right. And I think there's been a lot of questions about Kelsey and has she improved enough? I think, if you have someone who can get her the ball more, give her more catch and shoot opportunities, maybe that would help because, again, there were plenty of games last year where she had very few shots. Am I frozen?
Yes.
Okay.
Is that my?
Oh, wait. I'm back.
Great.
Something you'll have to cut out when you do the podcast version.
It's all good.
I think there's a lot of questions about what Kelsey will become. She's definitely a good WNBA player, but is she going to be an all-star? I'm not sure. And we only really have 1 year of seeing Vivians in the WNBA, which was a very promising year, but
40%.
We definitely have to see more.
She was like 40% on 160 3-pointers. It was just like, how do you do that as a rookie? That's bonkers.
I'm very excited to see her again.
Yeah. Last time, like in my last Indiana Fever podcast, I can't believe I've done 3 podcasts.
You have a Fever podcast now. This is your life now.
Yeah. Okay. I guess so. I don't think I've ever seen them play actually. Anyhow. Okay. No, I definitely haven't. Because last year no one wanted to go to a New York and a Fever game.
Sorry.
You're good.
Because they're bad. So, I mean,
yeah, but they'll be
everyone's going to hate me. I'm going to alienate the fan base of my own favorite team.
That's, everyone knows it. Okay. So for me,
speaking the truth here.
Yes. For me, the core group, I'm surprised that you didn't say Dupree.
Well, she is now.
Right.
But is she the core of the future? I assume not. But yeah, I would say for right now, yes.
Was she saying that? What are we saying that Tamika was talking about a core of the future? or she just said a great core
You
group.
know, I guess no, she didn't say it was of the future.
This
I
is
guess
the problem with paraphrasing.
I'm just thinking like,
Yeah,
if this is, yeah, I guess I'm just thinking where's this team going to go?
that's a
But
great
yes, I
question.
think Candace is great.
Yes.
So yeah, she's definitely a part of their core of their team for now. I just don't know how many seasons that's going to be
Right. I mean,
true.
she has been able to be in this league and play 30 minutes a game for 14 years and is incredibly efficient and has managed to take under 100 three-pointers in 100 in 14 years, which is insane. Under 75. Um, and one season she took like 62 or something like that. And like, what did she do? Anyhow, so she's great, but I think okay, the core group has to be McCowan, and I think Kelsey Mitchell. And Vivian's, because I just think like those three are all like within 1 year of each other.
Yeah.
Like Kelsey Mitchell and Vivian's are both 2018. You know, Vivian's came in at number 8 for them with the Breon
Yep.
January trade.
Yep.
Kelsey Mitchell number 2 in 2018. Yeah, so you know, and then McCowan's 2019. So you know, if those three can grow together, I'm super excited about Vivian's. But okay, so I think we have for the starters. Let's talk about starters. So Kelsey Mitchell, I think, will be at the 1.
Yes.
Vivian's
Well,
what? No, okay.
I mean,
Yeah, go.
every time Erica and Kelsey play together, Erica has been point guard. So if we're not starting Erica, then yeah, I guess I have questions on Kelsey's point guard skills.
Okay,
Anyway,
yeah.
go with your starting 5, and then we can debate.
I'm not really confident in what, but I think Kelsey Mitchell is better than Wheeler. So if we're gonna put the top 5 players out, I would put Kelsey over Wheeler.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Okay, yeah, I could be convinced otherwise. So Kelsey, Vivian's at the 2. Then okay, I know Dupree can play the 3, but I think I'm gonna put her at the 4 just because I think it'll help with Cox's development. So I would put maybe Laney at the 3 unless Burke really improves. I'm okay, and then McCowan at 5.
Yeah.
So McCowan at 5, Dupree at 4, Laney at 3, just to help with some defense.
Mm-hmm.
And then Vivian's and Mitchell. I could be convinced otherwise because I don't feel very confident about that.
I guess
and that's why I wanted to talk about it.
Where we're different is I have Vivian's at the 3, but she could certainly play the 2. So I have Erica, Kelsey, Vivian's, Candace, Tiara. But Vivian's can definitely play the 2. So if you want to put Benijah there for her defense, or I do think ultimately Kennedy Burke will pass Benijah in the rotation, but Kennedy Burke's young. We have to see what she can really do. She definitely had her moments last year, but I think you know what you're getting with Laney, and that's, a very good defensive player. She is kind of limited offensively, but I think her defense makes up for it. I would love her to come off the bench or just to be used in like a more strategic way, like when you want that defense. And I think when they signed her, the intention was that she would come off the bench. And that Vivian's would start.
Okay, yeah.
So really our difference is just whether we think Vivian's is a 2 or a 3. And I definitely think she could play the 2, which is nice because that gives you more options on what you can do. But we have too many guards, so.
Right. So I don't love I'm not as convinced on how good Wheeler is. I think she's kind of up and down. She's a little bit streaky, which is good, and like obviously she can hit the 3, but some years she can't. So
yep, I mean, I can't argue with what the stats say. Last year she had a good year. I mean, when we say Kelsey's better than Erica, I think last year Erica had a better season, but I definitely think Kelsey's ceiling is higher. And if you go to the season before last, Erica shot, I think, 28% from 3. It was a very disappointing season for me, an Erica Wheeler stan, but I stuck through it, and then she became the MVP of the All-Star game, so it worked out for me. But yeah, I don't know if she will play as well next season. I'm hopeful that she will, and since, again, I am a homer, I believe that she will, but it's definitely, I do worry a little bit. So, yeah, I definitely think it's possible to take her out of the starting lineup. I think she started every game last year, but the season prior to that, she was in and out of the starting lineup, I think mostly out just because, again, she wasn't shooting well. And then the season before that, she kind of was a season, Brand January went out. So, she had to start most of the time. So she's definitely been in and out there. And then, but Kelsey, too, has been in and out of the starting lineup because sometimes they put Tiffany Mitchell there, which why?
No, I'm sure. I mean, clearly coaches in the WNBA see something great in Tiffany Mitchell, considering she was like on the Olympic, tryout team. Like that was crazy to me. So it's her defense, I guess. And, she's pretty dynamic, but I'm not convinced she's better than Vivian's.
I don't think that she will be.
Yeah.
Also, that $140,000 contract. That's
making $140K.
Yeah, next year.
Oh, so my God.
Atlanta gave her that contract. So then it's a little bit higher than I would have liked, but
yeah.
Once Atlanta gives her that contract, would I rather lose a player for nothing or pay a little bit more than I want to? So I think it's valid to.
Yeah.
I wanted them to match the contract at that point. I do worry about the future with cap space. It's going to be interesting league-wide with the new structure, but we'll see. Maybe I'm just worried because Erica Wheeler's contract is up next year, and if my fave doesn't return, what will I do?
I don't know. So,
that's the answer.
Yes. So I think Cox might get herself into the 4 position. She might be able to get her way in there if you can push Dupree up to the 3. I kind of like that idea. Also,
I worry about because Candace doesn't. Candace has played the 3 in the past, but she doesn't shoot threes. And Lauren can shoot.
Yeah.
I don't know how confident I am in her 3-point shot, so I would really worry about the spacing if you had Candace at the 3 and Lauren Cox. But I also, who else? Maybe you just have to do it. Because, I don't think that – I believe in Lauren Cox's 3 more than I believe in Natalie Achonwa's 3. Because, Natalie started shooting them last season, but she didn't shoot. She didn't shoot well, but it's a skill she's developing.
Right. We love Natalie Achonwa. She's great.
Yes.
I want to – okay.
We'll never say – this is actually an Achonwa jersey.
Oh,
for
yeah?
the Facebook Live folks, yeah, it's an Achonwa jersey. Because they were not selling a Wheeler jersey at the time that I went to purchase a jersey. So I bought the Achonwa jersey, and later they started selling the Wheeler jersey, and I felt like a fool. But now I love Natalie, so.
I like her.
I lost your sound.
Yes, I put myself on silent. Okay, I'm back.
Okay, now you're back.
Yeah, let's look at, so Natalie Achonwa shot, let's see, she shot 9, nope. I'm looking at the wrong year. I'm struggling. Okay, she shot 69 3-points this year at 29%. So, eek.
That's better than Tiffany Mitchell's 3-point percent.
Yay. Yeah, Tiffany Mitchell.
This is a rough pod for Tiffany Mitchell.
No, wait. I read this wrong. No, wait, no. I'm so wrong. I'm sorry. Natalie Achonwa shot 12 3-points.
Okay, that sounds a little more right.
That makes way more sense. I'm dumb. Okay, Natalie Achonwa, but 12 is the most she's ever shot in her career. Tiffany Mitchell shot 20 out of 69, which is 29%. We don't like that very much. But also, what's annoying about Vanajolini, if she could get her 3-pointers up, she would be great. Just being a 3 and D, that's what she has to do.
Yeah.
For this team to be good, Kelsey Mitchell could be so much better if, the people around her last year could shoot and make the basket.
Yep.
Yeah, controversial.
I think some of those games I mentioned where Benija got more shots than Kelsey, it's because she's sitting at the 3-point line, wide open because no one's guarding her. So,
right. Because yeah.
I don't know. I don't believe she played out overseas this season. At least I didn't see anything about it. But the season prior to last one, she played, I believe, in Russia. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong. But I had looked up her 3-point stats from that season, and she did shoot more threes. Because I remember when she first came on, I was looking at her WNBA stats, and I was like, she never shoots threes. But she started putting that into her game overseas the season before the last one. So it seems like it's something she's developing. So
Yeah. This is Lainey we're still talking about?
yeah, Lainey. Hopefully she has a hoop somewhere in quarantine and
Yeah, because right. I think though with Vivian's back, we're gonna be in a much better position. And McCowan being better. I'm a little concerned about how much longer Dupree's got, but I think she's been able to stay in the league pretty long, and her aggressiveness has gone down over the years. I'm saying that based off of her free throw attempts. It's gone down over the years, so clearly
yeah, she doesn't really attack the basket.
Yeah, if she had a 3-point shot, like just go back 2 feet.
Okay, this is what drives me insane because if Candace Dupree is wide open, like 2 feet within the 3-point line, I expect it to go in. Like that shot is money. So she shoots 42 percent of it. If you took 2 steps back, I refuse to believe that she couldn't be like an average 3-point shooter. I don't understand. I mean, clearly the fact that she's never taken them, I'm sure she just must be really bad at them or something, because you'd think she would start shooting them, but I just don't. Makes no sense to me. I don't get it.
Yeah.
Also, she's depriving me of the pleasure of tweeting out Candace do 3 anytime she hits one. So
wow, that's so mean of her.
Do it for honestly. The content. Please just take a 3, Candace. There was one point last season where she hit a shot and I thought it was a 3, but her feet were on the line. Yes. And it was like the only reason she shot it was because there was no time left on the clock and she had to throw it up. And for a brief moment, I thought it was a 3 and the announcer said it was a 3. And I was so excited, only to have my hopes dashed by that darn line and Candace Dupree's toes.
Right. So, yeah, it's annoying. And I mean, I don't know how much longer she wants to be playing, but if she wants to play for literally she could play for so much longer if she just got the 3. And here's the thing, even if she went down by 10% from 3, she would be fine.
I know.
It's 32%, which isn't that bad.
Especially because her 2-point percentage, that is a long 2. She's not very far in the line. It never has made any sense to me. Drives me insane. But I'm sure Pokey knew something that I don't know. But who knows? Maybe Marion Stanley will come in and say, Candace, you are shooting 3s. We'll see what happens.
Do you know anything about Marion Stanley? What's her deal? If she's, do you think she's going to do a better job than Pokey and stuff?
I don't know, because it's not like I thought Pokey did a horrible job. There are definitely things that she did that you can pick out individual things where, I wish she did better at this and that. Right. But I don't know. It's you can't ignore the good things that Pokey did, none of which come to mind right now.
Okay, so what are your biggest issues? Where do you think she kind of missed, where she just missed and she could have done something better? I know the last, Blake, WNBA Daily, I think one of his issues, I'll say that he said it because this is not my own idea, so I'm guessing it was him who said it. But that she didn't develop Kelsey Mitchell into what she could have been. I
think that's one of the things.
Yeah.
Just because I think she should have gotten more shots, and you need to design your offense so that Kelsey gets more shots.
Yeah.
But then I don't know how much of it is the players not really listening, because I'm sure Pokey isn't over there with her whiteboard saying, get Benijah Laney an open 3. I'm sure that's not really what I think she tried at certain times, because there were times at the end of games where the ball's in Kelsey's hands. And there's some times when the ball was in Kelsey's hands where she did things where I was like, I don't know if that's what you were supposed to do in that moment. But there were times where I'm sure that she was telling him one thing and the team was doing another, but at the end of the day, you're the head of that team. So if they're not listening to you, then that's a problem. And the other thing I wonder is, since she was a coach /GM, they weren't a super deep team last year. Pokey only played 8 players most of the time, and the other players only got minutes out of desperation or in garbage time because someone was injured.
But also, they should be in garbage time. Like they couldn't be starters or
Yeah.
even
But the
coming
fact
off the
that,
bench.
I mean, the Vivian's injury was a problem, but the
Yeah.
fact that you don't have a deep, the fact that you're only playing 8 players out of your rotation, and maybe if Vivian's was there, it would be 9. Like that's on Pokey as well. So I wonder if it's a combination. You're unhappy with her as the coach and as the GM. I don't know. I still have mixed feelings on the firing because, they were improving. So I think a lot of people were saying, give her another year. If they had given Pokey another year, I wouldn't have minded. But I also think it'd be interesting to see a fresh face. And I was really happy that they got Marion Stanley, who has a lot of experience in the WNBA. Because that's my concern anytime someone gets rid of a coach is you can point out the things that you didn't like that the coach did, but who are you going to get that's better? And I do think that they have someone who should be at least equally as good, I hope.
Right. Yeah.
Maybe she can improve things, or maybe it's just, a new face with a new philosophy. We'll see. She was in a
Yeah.
lot of the interviews with her when she's saying things about players, she's mentioning passing a lot. So seems like they want to share the ball, which is good, I guess.
Yeah.
Everybody likes sharing. And then fast-paced players.
Yeah, they were slow. They were pretty slow in pace last year, actually. Like slower than I thought for such a young team. But if you have Tiara McCowan and Dupree, it kind of makes sense. Um, yeah. What? Well, okay. What do you think? How are you feeling about Cox? Are you excited?
And I mean,
Like there's so much hype around her right now, and like I'm really not totally convinced. I mean, like Snap is all about Lauren Cox. Like I let's not forget this. But yeah, like I'm not convinced. I mean, like neither of us thought she was starting. I mean, I guess I
are
said
you going to start over I wouldn't. I mean, it's Candace Dupree. So.
right, but there's like I think of Cox, like Cox is not as good of a shooter. I think if Cox would be able to put her, like she's more of a post up than Dupree. She's like a little bit thicker, not
Yeah.
as quick, but yeah. Sorry, go. What are your thoughts on Cox?
I think I'm kind of in the same boat as you. I think it could work. It's not like my dream pick. Obviously, I wanted Sabally. That was never going to happen.
Yeah,
Given the position that they're in, I think it was, I don't know, it's the pick I would have made as GM, but I'm not like having a parade about it. I mean, they point to the fact she played with Kalani Brown and Baylor. So I think that's promising. That's helpful. If she
wait,
can
why though?
shoot, because she played,
Oh,
because
I see.
she's really tall.
Right,
Kalani
no, I
Brown's
mean
really tall.
Kalani was obviously going
So
to park herself under the basket, like
so
no problem.
and she could still be effective. So if she can shoot threes, then I think it'll be great.
Yeah,
But I don't know how well she will shoot threes in the WNBA. That's
right,
always
and
the question.
yeah, I agree. And you know what? I think the girls coming out of college now, even it's just more part of the basketball culture to be shooting threes. So Cox is practicing threes more than someone like even Dulcin
Yeah.
was shooting threes throughout college. So I'm a little bit, it might take less time now for bigs to be developing their 3-point shot. That being said, I still am not so sure that it will happen because it just for some people, like it just like 3-pointers, no matter how much you practice, it just doesn't happen. Like the mechanics that you have just don't put the ball through the hoop. And that's like, like how much, they practice all day. It's their job. Like, no duh, they're practicing threes and just like some of them, it doesn't work.
Yeah. And some of them shoot a million of that. Some of them shoot a million of them in practice. And in the game, it's just different.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Like, like, like Kelsey Plum. I mean, I talked to Snap about Kelsey Plum, and he was just like, yeah, she has crazy 3-point shooting like drills and stuff, and like, it's taken her a long while to really start hitting them at a good clip. So, she's, I like her too. She's fun.
Me too.
Yeah, one of my friends has a crush on her, and so I,
She's got really great eyebrows.
ooh,
This
I
is the
think she has a great
commentary you get
smile.
when you have two women.
We just are, yeah,
I
it
just think
happens
she
though.
has great eyebrows.
Right. Um, who I'm trying to think of other, well, maybe this isn't exactly what my podcast is about, but like, is there anyone else that I like really notice like their hair or something? I mean, whatever. Um, this is not really what I focus on. Maybe I've forced myself not to focus on it because it's just like this is not what we're about. But there's someone on this team who I noticed. Oh, who was it? Who just like always wears yellow shoes, and I was like, I'll always be able to pick her out. And now I have no idea who it
Man,
is.
I feel like I should
I
know who
think
you're
it was,
talking
I
about
think it's
too.
Burke. I think it's Kennedy Burke.
It could be.
Yeah, I liked Kennedy Burke actually. I think she could develop into something.
I think she'll be
Um,
good.
yeah, she's big,
She,
so or
she
like
also
yeah,
she had games where she was hitting everything.
yeah,
Um, but of course, you know, everyone can have a few good games here and there. I
yeah.
am very optimistic about her. I also love that they got her for nothing because
Why?
because Dallas cut her.
Oh, interesting. What do you,
So
yeah,
free draft pick for us.
there you go. And that's the other thing about Doyle that is like I'm good. I feel good about is because they got the 14th pick for Shanice Johnson. And I just like wasn't really into Shanice Johnson. What were you thinking about her?
I love that trade because I did not think that Shanice was going to make the team. Not that I don't like her, but if
Mhm.
it came down to like her or Kennedy Burke, I would much rather have the player on a cheap, controllable contract for a few years than someone who has a history of injury. So, I mean, I like her, but it's just I wouldn't have given the roster spot to her at that position if you think Vivian's is a 3. But you could play Vivian's as at a 2. But I love that we got a draft pick for a player that I didn't think was going to make the team anyway. It was great job, Tamika.
There you go. There you go. So, where do you think they're landing this year?
Like ninth.
Yeah. Uh, it's too bad. I think it's going to be around there too. I don't really see this going above that cuz like who like okay, like Vivian's is back, sure. But like is that going to make go have you go from ninth to 8th? Is the development of Tiara McCowan going to push you from ninth to 8th or all these together,
Yeah.
Is getting Lauren Cox off the bench going to push you maybe, I don't know.
To me, it's before when I was thinking about
Hmm.
their playoff hopes, it was like which team in the playoffs is going to drop out so that the Fever could get in. And you can convince yourself, well, maybe it's the Lynx, or you could pick a couple teams. But now I'm like, which two teams that made the playoffs last year are going to drop out? Because I think I would put Atlanta above the Fever right now.
Right.
So that makes it trickier because now I need to convince myself that two teams that were good last year are going to be worse than the Fever, assuming that everything works out in Atlanta. But
Yeah, you don't know. I mean,
it's tough. So if I say, I don't know, maybe the Lynx. I mean, they were chasing the Mercury last year, but obviously the Mercury didn't have Diana Taurasi. I do think the Mercury are worse without Dewana Bonner, even with Skylar Diggins Smith.
definitely, yeah.
But I still have a hard time convincing myself that they would be worse than the Fever. So I'm with they're probably not going to make the playoffs. Now, if they're in a playoff hunt for the season, I think that makes the regular season more interesting and enjoyable
Hmm.
because it really gives, it makes the games mean more when you are on that bubble. So to me, if they don't make it, I'll still enjoy the regular season. And then maybe they'll win the lottery for once, though I think hell would freeze over. So
Yeah. I don't. Yeah, I think they're just not. They're not going to be able. I just don't see it. Like I want them to, but I just don't see anything that they've added that is really going to make them that much better. Because I mean, like I think what most people say is they lost the draft in the offseason compared to every other team. I'm not sure if I totally agree with that. Now I'm thinking about it because Connecticut got a little bit, screwed over. Um, but even so, you get to wand of honor. Like you don't lose when you get to wand of honor.
I'm
Um,
not. They'll be fine.
yeah, I mean they have John Paul Jones. Like they're, oh man, they're so good.
I
And
just
Alyssa
think,
Thomas, ugh, I
yeah,
can't.
they're still. They'll be good.
Yeah, yeah, but I don't know. I think that the Fever didn't have the best off season. Would you agree that they had the like? I can't think of anyone who had a worse off season than
Well,
they
I
did.
try to think of like what are their priorities. Also, I'm a homer, so I'm going to justify all their moves and pretend that they're okay, even if they aren't.
Go for it.
Um, so to me, I don't think they're not trying to sign. They're not trying to sign big players. So if I look at this team, their championship window is a few years from now when Tierra is the player that we hope Tierra is. So
Well, what year
their
would that
priority
be?
isn't,
When did
ugh,
she? When? So the fourth
I'm
year. So
sure it's a
she.
few years from now.
So she played in 1920. No, yeah, 1920, 21. So 20. So after the year 2022, she's getting onto a new contract, which I would think they keep her anyways.
Yeah. So, but to me, it's like they're not they're not winning a championship next year. So, sure, Dewana Bonner would have been great. That was the pipe dream.
Right. Why did that?
They
I'm
could have.
surprised that didn't happen. That
Uh,
Dewana Bonner didn't come to Indiana.
I don't know.
I
My
would want to live with my significant other, like,
and my
but
sister.
whatever.
I don't know. That was. I don't know.
Oh.
Or do you want to live?
Hmm.
I don't know. If you, I can understand someone wanting to compete for a championship, and I don't know if they wanted to pay her that much. I guess my thing is I was thinking more like Strickland because I think they could have paid Strickland more than Atlanta paid her. But
Yeah.
do you
What
want?
contract is she on?
Oh, I'm not sure exactly
165
what.
for 2 years, maybe.
Yeah, but like you could give her. You have the money to do it. But it's like, do
Right.
I want? Do I want those minutes being soaked up by Strickland when they could go to one of these younger players that I'm trying to develop? So I think it's valid to not. Again, this is me justifying their moves, so I can feel better about myself.
Okay.
Uh, but I'm okay with them not signing big names because that's just going to take minutes away from your young players and their championship window is in the future. I'm all about thinking of the future. Also, I think that Julie Aleman is a person who can contribute who they signed. I think that is a great bench piece for them.
There you go.
So that's someone that they brought in who is not, I mean, she was drafted by them before, but
Oh, Almond
that's
was
someone who can
drafted by
make it.
them?
She was drafted by them in 2016. But it was one of those
Oh,
things where they draft her and they understand she's going to stay overseas
right.
for a few years.
Yeah.
And this season was the year. And who knows when the season will happen, but
It might be
she
2
signs a
years,
contract. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what do you think that we're gonna have a season this year?
Uh, I mean, I think if they have one, it will not be one that we can personally attend. Uh,
Yeah, yeah,
to me, it would be really disappointing if the NBA plays and the WNBA doesn't play. Now, granted, the players might not want to do it. I would completely understand if
yeah,
they didn't want to. I might not want to if I were in their position. But if the players want to play, I know they're all competitive. If the players want to play and the NBA plays and it doesn't happen, that would be disappointing to me. But man, it's tough.
right.
I
I
don't necessarily expect anything.
Yeah, I just like, man, I don't think they're gonna play this year. I think it's really hard. It's a logistical nightmare, and I just don't think whoever they is, the big executives are like really willing to go out of their way to make it work, which stinks because it just does.
Yeah, I think it's a whole mess. And then you just have to, are they doing it in a single location? And that's all these people who have to spend months living in a weird place that they're unfamiliar with. Can they move all their families down? Are you asking them to go away from their families for months? I don't know. That's
It's
tough.
just a nightmare.
So
It's
something that, I'm sure you're not going to be making a whole lot of money on it, unfortunately.
right, and that's kind of a really big motive for most people. So that's I'm not.
That
I'm a
just
little.
means we can have this conversation for a whole another year.
Oh yeah. Oh man. Okay, so what? Okay, we didn't really go over why you like Alamon so much. So what did you like about her? What did you see?
So I think she's a really good distributor. She can find players who are open. She makes really good decisions. So to talk, to give some background for whoever's listening and who is unfamiliar,
Please
uh,
do.
Julie Allemand plays for the Belgian national team. So she plays with Emma Messiman. She's played in the World Cup. She's played in Eurobasket. She also plays in EuroLeague for Lyon. And she has really great shooting percentages in those leagues. I guess I can pull up the exact numbers. I'm pretty sure she's
Yeah, do it.
42. She's 42% in. Let me find the correct tab. Where did it
Yeah,
go?
I got a
She's
bunch of tabs up.
42% from Euro. Oh man, I have to reload this page because it's not. She's 42%. Unless this refreshes and it tells me that I'm wrong.
You
She's
take your time, take your time. It's
42%
really fine.
um, from three in the EuroLeague games, and I think in the French league she's 53% from three,
Oh,
and
I forgot
she's
there's
like over 50% from the floor. She does not
wait.
take.
I'm confused. So she's also in a French league?
Yeah, it's like they have their own
Uh,
league within France, and they also play in EuroLeague games. I believe someone. Hopefully, I don't sound really stupid. But
yeah,
yeah,
okay,
so
yeah.
I have her different percentages for the different leagues. So she was 41.4% on 29 attempts in EuroLeague last year, and
Oh,
she
that's
was
not very much.
no, yeah, I'm going to get into that. She's 52% from three on 42 attempts, and they only played 14 EuroLeague games, so it wasn't like it was a lot of games. But she's 52% on 42 shots in the French league. She does not shoot a lot. She takes 4 to 5 shots per game. She's really not looking for a shot, and that's one of the things that I would love to see her improve on, is to just look for her shot more and become more of a scoring threat, because the people guarding her know she's going to pass. And she can still make the pass most of the time.
Right,
But,
yeah.
it would definitely make her more of a threat if she shoots more and is more of a shooting threat. But I definitely think she can shoot. I mean, she's not going to shoot 42% in the WNBA, and she's not going to shoot 42% if she takes more attempts. But the potential is there. And playing internationally, she has seen some good competition. It's always hard to evaluate because it's not the WNBA.
Of
But
course.
I will mention that World Cup game in 2018, which
Yeah.
was a semifinal game where she had 12 assists versus Team USA. So I think if you can get 12 assists versus Team USA, you can contribute in the WNBA. I don't know
Hmm.
how good she'll be, but I think I would say that's your backup point guard. We'll see what happens. Um, but she's also only 23, so that's someone that
Right.
you could help grow their game. Okay, I'm gonna get up some Julie Allemand quotes. That's what I'm looking on my phone for.
Okay, yeah, that's all good.
All right,
You're
so
fine.
here's some quotes.
Oh,
As you can
yes.
see, I'm obsessed with this player who even knows if she'll be good.
No,
If
I
she's
love
not, I
this.
will be upset. But
This is the best part.
okay, so she had a interview with FIBA recently. This was after the coronavirus struck.
Wait, what's her
Um,
English sound like?
she speaks well. I mean, she has an accent, but she's fluent, I would say. Also, the Belgian coach for the Belgian national team speaks English, so it was fun for me to
Right.
listen into the timeouts and hear
Yeah.
him say stuff. There was one game where he was actually saying like he wanted Alimon to have the ball with 8 seconds left. So I was like, he trusts my girl to get it done.
Yeah. I was surprised when I was watching that one game against the USA, like Belgium versus USA from 2018. I was like, why is he speaking in English? Like, do you think
I am question. I don't
might have been
either,
staged a little bit? But I don't know. For theatrics, please
but he's
tell us
even
your.
on like the like I watched some of the group games and he was also speaking English. So I think he just
That's
does.
so
I don't know.
weird. Is that not
It
their
was
is
weird.
their first language French over there?
I believe so. I don't
I'm
know if they
confused.
have players that, but I don't know. Anyway, it
Maybe you
worked
have
out for
international
me.
players. Whatever.
I enjoyed being able to hear what they were saying. Anyway, quotes
Right?
from Julie about the WNBA. She says, I'm so excited about it, and I really hope I will be able to go there. I am just hoping the situation will get better. I think the WNBA will be an amazing experience for me, and it will take me out of my comfort zone and allow me to learn more new things. I don't want to put too much pressure on myself, but I really want to do something. I don't want to go there and have the feeling that I am not helping my team to be better. I'm sure this experience will make me grow as a basketball player, but especially as a human being. I really want to learn about this American mentality because I think this is something I really have to add in my game if I want to be better. I can't wait to play with and against the best players in the world. So to me, I don't know exactly what she means by the American mentality, but I would assume it's like, an attacking mentality. And I definitely think she could
Yeah,
look for her own shot more. And I think being able to play against WA players on a regular basis will definitely help her because, in those EuroLeague games, the competition isn't
yeah,
great. She doesn't play in the same group as Ekaterinburg, so the competition was not great there. But I think when she has faced good competition, she's risen to the occasion. And if she has the opportunity to do that more, I think it'll help her develop and it'll help her back when she goes to play for the Belgian national team. Because, they're trying to get an Olympic medal out of this at
yeah.
some point.
You
Um,
they got to do it when they have Emma Meesum in there. I
I
mean,
know. I feel
she's
like
so good.
it's got to be next year. And I don't know, man, France and Spain, it's going to be
Yes.
tough to beat them. And also, now that I'm like watching all these Belgian national team games, it seems
Yeah.
like their problem is depth. But I mean, Julie might be the second best player on that team, or she might be the third best, depending on how you think of
Right. So it'll be Emma
Mestag.
Meesseman, Mestog,
Yeah,
and then
and then her.
Ann Waters is like I for some reason she's been around for so long.
Yeah.
She's still like what year was she playing in the W?
Oh man.
Like okay, I gotta look it up. This is interesting to me. Waters. She spells Waters wrong, but like that's okay.
Yeah.
Oh my god, she played for the Cleveland Rockers, and
That's amazing.
she played there in 2000. Like she's older than Sue. Well, I don't know if she's older. She's probably the same age as Sue Bird and Diana Taurasi because she was 19 in 2000, whatever year that is, 1981 when she was born.
I'm
So
off the clock, so no math for me.
right, of course, of course. Oh man, Emma Meeseman. We pronounce
She's
Meeseman
so good.
differently. We do.
I think I used to say Misamin, but in all those
In all those
World
games,
Cup
yeah.
games, they were saying Messamin, so it rubbed off on me. I have no clue what the real one is.
Right. I could
We
not
all know
tell.
who we're talking
Yeah. I put out a poll yesterday or something that said like who's the best player in the WNBA, and I put four options of Emma
about.
Meeseman.
I voted in that poll, and I voted
Really?
for the third Emma Misamin.
Yeah, I feel like this is actually more of a thing of like what do people answer most lately. This was not asking about who the best
Everyone
WNBA
always
player.
picks the third one.
Yeah, why
But
is
she's very good, and she's very, very good in those international games.
yeah,
And I liked how Julie's able to get her the ball down low. So I think
right.
Julie will be able to get Tiara the ball. And she also plays with Alicia Clark in EuroLeague.
Oh,
So she
really?
can get, yeah, Alicia Clark and Johannes
Oh,
are on her team.
Johannes is so good.
So she has a couple good players. I
Johannes is
watched, yeah.
go. Sorry.
Oh,
Sorry.
I watched, she played Erica Wheeler in one of their quarterfinal games. And that was like so fun for me to watch.
Right.
And I was just trying to see, like, can she defend Erica? Because that was a question for me. It's hard for me to evaluate defense.
It's so hard.
It
I
seemed
agree.
like she'd be okay defensively. It's not like Erica
Yeah.
torched her. She definitely had her defensive moments. But then they switched Alicia Clark onto Erica in the fourth quarter, and I was like, you're ruining all my fun. I just want to watch them play against each other.
Yeah. Alicia Clark is I can't believe Alicia Clark was playing against Erica Wheeler. That's crazy. Alicia Clark can do everything.
Yeah.
Ugh,
She was really good.
she's
It was fun for me,
yeah.
when they had they walk past each other before the game, and like Alicia Clark gives Erica an extra hug. And then
Oh,
later in the game, when one of Leon's players just like threw Erica to the ground because it was at the end of the game and they were trying to trap or get a foul, just tossed her to the ground. And then, Julie's there with her shocked face, like, how dare you call a foul on us? Like, how
right.
dare you? And then Alicia Clark, this is what cracks me up the most. Alicia Clark's in the background giving the double thumbs up jump ball sign. And I was like, Alicia, that was
Yeah.
not a jump ball. It was
Yeah.
cracking me up. And I was like, you just throw Erica to the ground. She missed the next free throw. Anyway, I'm having a great time watching Julie Alimont tape. I highly recommend it. All EuroLeague games and pretty much, I think all the Eurobasket and World Cup games are on FIBA's YouTube channel. So
Yeah.
if anyone's bored, you too can stand the Belgian national team.
Yeah, I'm excited. I want French. Wow. I want the Spanish to do well. Mostly because I live there, but like they're pretty good.
They
They
are
play
good.
really different.
I think they won Eurobasket.
Oh, perhaps.
They'll probably get the bronze next year.
Yeah, I think that's how it went. Well, in the World Cup games, it went U.S., Belgium, I think was two, and then Spain was
It
also.
was it was USA, Australia, and then the bronze medal game was Belgium versus Spain, and Spain won. I
Yeah,
still thought Julie played just fine in that game, though.
yeah, no, yeah, she was probably great.
She definitely, just to not overhype her, she definitely missed some layups in that World Cup game versus Team
Yeah.
USA, so not
Yeah, I noticed
perfect.
that too. She definitely like missed some bunnies, or like she just seemed a little bit out of control, and I was like, dude, someone was just too hard on her. Like the defense was just like too close to her when she was um in transition, and just like took a wild shot, and I was like, I don't know,
Yeah,
man.
I
I
definitely
love that.
think she needs to see better defense on a more consistent basis.
Yeah.
There was
Right.
also this game. I watched too many games. There was a game
Yeah,
versus
how many have you
France.
watched?
Oh man, don't ask me. They had against the French national team, and in the fourth quarter, they put a very good defender on her, Olivia Pupa, who, won the MVP of the final game of the Australian Basketball League. So she's not like, of course, I look it up to be like, she's
Yeah.
actually a good player. So it's
Yeah,
fine. It's
yeah,
fine that Julie
yeah.
struggled because she actually is good and can play defense.
Right.
But yeah, she struggled and she found ways to be effective at times, but like she got a backcourt violation and
Oof.
it was definitely an adjustment and she made adjustments through the game. But that's something that, if she sees that defense on a more consistent basis, I am hopeful that she can learn to be effective. But, that's why it'll be a great opportunity for her. I think she makes the team. It seems to me that Tamika thinks she will make the team. And Tamika's way smarter than me, so we'll go with what Tamika says.
Right. Yes, yes. Okay. Well, I feel good about what we've gotten through today. We talked a bunch about mm, the fever, and then a bunch about Allemande and the Belgian national team. But I asked the question, so like you were not off base for doing that.
Well, I think a lot of people don't know that much about Julie Alliman yet, and I'm here to spread the gospel. I think a lot of people, a lot of people watch college, so they know all the
Mhm.
college players,
Right.
and fewer people watch, Eurobasket. I was one of those people before like last week, so I can't blame
Yeah,
them.
I
But
want to get into the international game. I do. More than like more I'm like a little bit more interested in the international game than the college game, but I don't know. Because they are professional, so it's a little different, but they're
yeah,
not as good. I just love the W the most, basically.
yeah. I mean, I'm always gonna love the W the most. I definitely like the international like Eurobasket games better than EuroLeague because the competition's clearly better in
Wait,
those.
Eurobasket's better than EuroLeague?
Yes.
Oh. Oh,
At
I
least
have that's
the games I watched, the teams were just okay. It depends because like okay, Yekaterinburg's really good,
right.
but like not. So it really, I mean, I guess it really just depends on which ones you're watching.
Thought yeah, I when I Wikipedia'd it, it seemed like EuroLeague was better, but I could be wrong. And I think what happens is like some actually I can't talk about this because I have no idea what I'm talking about.
I think it's very team. It's going to depend on what you watch. Like I think obviously the Belgian national team they have Emma Mason in, so she's very
Right.
good. And Julie definitely had better players to pass to, and when the people she passes to make the shots, she looks great. And when
And
they
she has more
don't,
assists that way.
yeah, when they don't, she looks worse. So,
Right,
but
right.
yeah, so she's not in the group with Ekaterinburg. And what's that other team that's really good? So when I was looking for EuroLeague games, I was trying to find like what are the best teams that I can watch her play against. And I couldn't find games versus Ekaterinburg because she is not in that group. So I mean, it's really going to depend on which individual World Cup teams you're looking at and which specific EuroLeague teams you're looking at.
Yes. Well, maybe this is
Hopefully
something
someone who knows more doesn't just come out and say, you are completely wrong.
maybe that's what we can do next time you're on the show. We could talk about the international game and be like, we're learning.
Except have someone else.
No. We'll do like a little bit of research and be like, here's things I found. And you can be like, here's things I found. And we'll be like, Cool. We're learning.
What
Yay.
else? I mean, it's like there's no new sports to watch, so you just have to watch other sports that you haven't watched
Exactly.
before. And so far, I've just been learning about European basketball, which has been fun. So
There you go. Why not? Um, all right, let's end this thing. We had a great I had a good time so far. In the last
it's been fun.
yeah, so Jess, is there anything you want to tell people before we go?
Stan Julie Aliman, that's about. Oh, also Stan Erica Wheeler. I can't forget my original favorite.
There you go.
That's all I have to say. She better be good or I'm going to look real stupid. But that's okay. Go big or go home.
Yeah, so you can follow Jess on Twitter at Jessica Chords. Is
Chords
that
like the guitar chords.
yes? Is there any number after that, or is it just Jessica
It's
Chords?
just it's just
I
that.
should know this. I'm
That's okay. JESSICHORDS. There you go.
wonderful. All right, everybody. Thanks for listening, and have a wonderful, wonderful day. Goodbye.